People that have their own opinions and industry plants, welcome to a brand new video. You are not ready for the diabolical nature of what we are about to do, but prepare to point and prepare to laugh. Because we are reaching a glorious level of Fafo. I have never liked this guy, and I am so justified. It is insanity. There are so many people that are trying their best to defend him. Oh, Pirate Software is a big streamer. We should stand up for him. He's a liar, and he's a fraud, and I am going to prove all of that today. So, to be clear, you are not ready for the diabolical nature of what you are about to see. The creator of Minecraft. The creator of Minecraft, brother, is calling this guy out for being a fraud. Is that not the most diabolical thing you've ever heard in your entire life? Oh my god, it is absolute cinema. I cannot say absolute cinema. So let's go, baby. He is currently getting attacked by... actual programmers. All of his programming was a fraud. He clapped back. They clapped back. He lost his job. Bro, this man is becoming the penultimate lol cow on the entire internet. What a beautiful day. So I think we have to start with this. There's no other place to begin than literally here. Minecraft creator Notch responded to Pirate Software disapproval of the Stop Killing Games campaign. For those of you that are unaware, Stop Killing Games is a campaign that's basically saying that corporations shouldn't be able to destroy games after you buy them. To be clear, that is what the Stop Killing Games campaign is actually about, and it is basic consumer rights, and I think it's super important. I think it sets a precedent for basically everything. You do not want companies to be able to pull the plug on things that you have already purchased. So this is what happened. Notch says, hey guys, just got back to gaming after a brief break. Wait, why is there a Nepo baby doubling down over there? Obviously referring to Pirate Software, who was called a Nepo baby by me, and keeps doubling down according to me. Minecraft creator Notch has made fun of Pirate Software for the streamer's ridiculous stance against the Stop Killing Games initiative, and Notch responds, just verifying that yes, this is what I was talking about. If buying a game is not a purchase, then pirating them is not theft. This is the actual Nuxanor quote. I am not exaggerating. I said this in my previous video maybe 6 times. Absolute cinema. Bro, imagine taking so many L's that the creator of Minecraft is coming for your ass. So Asmongold reacted to
Minecraft
this.
Creator Notch responded to Pirate Software's disapproval of Stop Killing Games campaign. Jesus, 213,000 likes. If buying a game is not a purchase, then pirating them is not theft. Again, it's fucking bullshit that they're trying to tell you that they're gonna own your game whenever you fucking bought it, man. Pirate Software has spoken out.
The best part is we are reaching glorious levels of bullshit. Insanely beautiful, glorious levels of bullshit. This is incredible. Like, bro, you are a professional lol cow at this point.
Against it, saying it will damage all live service games. Well, you don't have to sell it anymore. I was already sold. Read his first response. Let me see what he says. Minecraft creator Notch has made fun of Pirate Software for the streamer's ridiculous stance against Stop Killing Games. Just verifying that, yes, that is what I was talking about. So he even went back to like double down. Were you shitting on Pirate Software?
And he's like, yes, I want this to be unambiguous. Unambiguous. I am making fun of this guy, okay? Want to make this clear.
Yes, that's exactly what I was doing. And I've seen this before. Pirate Software responds to Code G. There's even...
Is this gonna help you? You mean the guy who's never used Game Maker Studio, doesn't know Game Maker?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be actually getting to this, by the way. Code Jesus is a coder that's been in massive beef with Pirate Software. We're gonna be looking at that today. Basically, a coder looked at Pirate Software's code, and Pirate Software lost his fucking shit and crashed out on stream.
Language and talked a lot of shit, but was wrong. It's just another, like, YouTube grifter trying to fight for relevance, dude.
That's right. Everyone that criticizes him is a YouTube grifter.
All that shit is.
But anyway, it's a real graph. Pirate lied again. Oh my god.
Yo! No way! Accursed Farms publishes his first video. Pirate Software reviews it. Pirate Software publishes his video about Stop Killing Games. Pirate Software publishes his other video. Stop Killing Games too.
Oh my god.
For context, Pirate Software posted graphs trying to prove how his videos had no negative impact on the Stop Killing Games initiative.
We covered this in the previous Pirate Software video, which you should definitely check out for more context.
And the literal creator of the original graph replied with more accurate data and showing the opposite.
Oh my god. Oh.
Wait, so it was actually proven that he did directly impact the Stop Killing Games initiative? Oh, you absolute bitch! Oh, there's nothing more fun in this world than a good injection of FAFO right into my veins.
Oh no, they have another. Oh, he's done. How is this still happening?
He's done.
I hope that your initiative gets everything you asked for, but nothing you wanted.
Actual fucking villain shit.
And I'll leave it there.
Yeah, good job, bro. Now, the funniest thing is, Toby Turner, also known as Tobuscus, actual goat, I love this guy. He said, wah, because Notch, the creator of Minecraft, followed him on Twitter and retweeted his tweet saying, guy named Pirate Software is against purchasing and owning software. I mean, that's consistent. And Notch retweeted this beautiful bastard. By the way, I love Toby Turner. This guy's fucking hilarious. He's incredible. Actual S-tier guy out there. It is so much fun watching him in his villain arc. Yeah, actually goated. But the funniest thing is, Notch followed him and retweeted this just to shit on Pirate Software a little bit extra. Okay, this is beautiful. Now, I showed this in my previous video, but Dexerto actually, after my video, by the way, decided to publish this. Pirate Software lost over 100,000 YouTube subscribers in the last 2 weeks. This is him losing 20k, 10k, 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 10, 10, 10, 10. He lost over 100,000 subscribers in 2 weeks. This has been a diabolical downfall, like an insane downfall from one of the biggest, most quote-unquote respected people in the streaming industry to, unironically, a lol cow over just the span of a month. And you know, all it was is because of his ego. It's because he doubled down. If he just would have said, yeah, I was wrong, I misunderstood, I'm sorry, I was an asshole, immediately, none of this would have happened. But because he's such an egotistical asshole, this literally ruined his career. His ego and bitch mentality straight up ruined his career. And I'm not exaggerating about that. So as you can see, he lost 130,000 subscribers in the last 28 days. He also got 40 million views, which is a lot, except you have to realize most of his views are shorts. He actually only got 5 million views from long form videos. Now, shorts don't count because shorts YouTube is retarded. However, currently he got 5 million views. That, for those of you that are, okay, listen, I'm not trying to insult him. That's half of what I got, all right? Listen, I'm not some massive YouTuber streamer guy. I'm not trying to make believe I'm anything special over here. I'm not trying to make believe I'm remotely anything, all right? Listen, but what I am saying is I got double this man's views, and he was way bigger than me. Like, way bigger. So this is crazy. Like, this is a insane downfall. Just look at his views per month, and this is diabolical. So anyway, I do find it funny that all of a sudden after my video, Dexerto posted this screenshot, which is literally a screenshot directly from my video. We get people quoting the if buying isn't owning, piracy isn't stealing. Like, we're actually fucking cooking, and I am loving it so much. Now, Pirate Software has been getting cooked in many places. So this is him saying, I'm no longer working at Off-Brand Games. Off-Brand Games is the Ludwig company, all right? People were attacking all of the games that we were publishing, trying to mass review bomb them. You can dislike the things I say. This was unhinged. I am such a victim. Wah, 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 wah. Learned a lot there. Accomplished a lot. Wah. Hope they can succeed regardless. Love those dudes. Working with them. Hope they keep cooking. Ludwig's responds with, it's a good initiative. Few bad actors review bombed and harassed creators. Blah, blah, blah. Appreciate you stepping down. Basically, Pirate Software was a bit of a slug. So obviously, Slugwig, who was also a bit of a slug, they had an aggressive crying session together where they came together and cried in each other's vaginas, talking about how important it is that he leaves. This is so sad. He's no longer working at this gaming studio because people were attacking all the games they were publishing. This is so sad. Or at least it would be if it was true. It turns out, after doing some digging, no one is review bombing any of the games that they were doing. There was no review bombing. This is all a lie. He is completely lying. The reason why he's leaving Off-Brand Games, in my opinion, you know why? It's because he's getting shit on by everyone and no one wants to associate with this guy. No one wants to associate with this motherfucker because he's a completely retarded, egotistical asshole that will stab you in the back and then in the front. Just a reminder, this guy collabed with Asmongold to talk about a video game. He got shit on Twitter for collabing with Asmongold, because Asmongold is a right-winger or whatever. And then, you know what his response was? I obviously don't endorse anything Asmongold says. I just felt the need to talk about the game, but of course I don't endorse him as a person. Absolute bitch-made mentality. There was no review bombing, you absolute invertebrate. Now, the funniest part is people started watching his old clips and his old shorts. And because, you know, he went super viral through shorts. You know, he talks in a deep, sexy voice. Deep, sexy voice. Just saying. Incredibly deep and incredibly sexy. And, the funniest part was the fact that there are lies in like half of his shorts. Like a ton of his shorts are just straight up lies. So here's one as an example.
Yeah, look, it's even in my profile on Twitch, man. My name is Thor and I've been in the games industry since 2004. Like, I think it's really weird that people are like hung up and he's like, he said he was a dev for 20 years. I was like, no, I said I was in the games industry for 20 years. It's very strange. Ugh. It's always been there. I've always said that.
He's always
said
said
100% part of the development. I agree. I think that's how that should be seen. But I didn't make video games. I worked on video games. Until I went indie. Now I make video games. You hiring anyone for QA?
Now I make video games. Talking about Heartbound, a video game that he's allegedly been working on for years. And still, despite that fact, it never came out. Bro, you are the yandere dev of 2025.
No, I'm not hiring anybody right now. QA is always, and it shouldn't be, man.
I think he's a scammer, by the way. Hot take. I think he's an actual scammer for scamming people to invest in this game that never actually ended up happening yet.
Still kind of green. Who gives a shit? I've made released it. Yeah, that guy gets mad. What kind of dev work did you do at Blizzard? I didn't do any dev work at Blizzard. I've never said that I did.
All right. So this is a short of him basically saying, I never did dev work at Blizzard. I never said that I did dev work at Blizzard. I never said any of these things.
Has done some weird shit where they said like, oh, he said he's a dev for 20 years at Blizzard. It's like, no, I was a dev when I was freelance.
But to be clear, this is an entire YouTube short that he made to talk about how he was never a dev at Blizzard. It's never happened. He's never been a dev. Okay. He's never said he was a dev. He just said he worked there. He never said he was a dev. Software. Been a dev in the industry for 20 plus years, and I haven't seen a more ridiculous move than blah 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 blah. So like eat my whole ass, Pirate Software. Eat my entire ass. Unbelievable. This dude lied as easily as he breathed. It's actually insane. Holy shit. Oh, by the way, also fun fact, he's worked at Blizzard. Interesting as that is. Now, a lot of people are making fun of him for this too, because this is Pirate Software while he's streaming versus Pirate Software while he's live on a stage.
Just go to my next meet and greet and record me.
Right, go to his next meet and greet and record him. He does not fake his voice.
Like, I'll do one at TwitchCon San Diego. Be there.
Like, the software and game development category is incredible. You guys should definitely check it out. There's many more creators than just me in that. It's definitely not just me. So,
oh, diabolical, as a wise man once said. Yeah, no, I think that's pretty fucking awesome. I think that's pretty great. Yeah, so anyway, he has been a dev for 20 plus years. He's worked at Blizzard for 20 plus years, not as a dev. Pretty weird. Anyway, I want to show you my favorite business on the internet. When somebody becomes a lolcow and they're just so obviously full of shit, and people start sifting through the shit, looking at an entire history of lies on top of lies to literally just virtue signal and cock gobble his way to the top of the industry. Let me introduce you to Quintheo. I don't really know Quintheo. They're just some commentary YouTuber guy. Brother. Bro. In the last 12 days, he made 10 videos. He made 10 videos on this guy in 12 days. I respect the grind. And Mr. Software, you're a lolcow. You are a lolcow. I mean this with complete love in my heart. That was a lie. But you are a lolcow. You are a nepo baby, and people are finally picking you the fuck apart. So anyway, this is a video done by Coding Jesus. He's a YouTuber who reviewed Pirate Software's code and says it's dog shit. Apparently, I didn't watch this video yet. But the funny part, okay, is Pirate Software clapped back, and he called him a grifter and a liar and a fraud. So he clapped back on Pirate Software. So lock in, boys and girls. We are about to make fun of a lolcow. Prepare to milk the cow. What's a lolcow? It's someone who's such a complete loser, they don't even realize they're the butt of every single joke. More people are making money making fun of him than he's making himself. It is diabolical, this downfall. And you know what? You know who's justified? Me, the guy who said he was a complete fraud for months. I'm just saying, I said this months ago, probably 7-8 months ago, and I was so justified.
Because literally anything would be better than this. What is up, guys? Coding Jesus here.
All right.
Guys, today we will be doing a code review of either a YouTuber and streamer by the name of Thor or Pirate Software.
All right.
Now, why should you care, and who the hell is Thor? Well, Thor has been the talk of the town as of recently, as he's been an extremely large streamer that has come out against a pro-consumer movement in the gaming space called Stop Killing Games.
True.
Stop Killing Games is an initiative launched by a man named Ross Scott, who is an advocate for consumers in the video game space. The purpose of Stop Killing Games is to prevent publishers from revoking access of games from people who have paid to play those games.
Yeah, it's literally that simple.
There are plenty of examples out there. Publishers that produce games that require online access to play, but once they pull the plug from their servers, consumers now stop having access to those games. The Stop Killing Games movement is looking to advocate on behalf of consumers in order to mandate that game publishers and game developers have some sort of end-of-life plan for games such that they can continue to be played after the developer would like to stop supporting them.
By the way, if you're against this movement, you're probably a retard. There are a few things in this world that are straight up retard detectors. One of them is saying that, yeah, we don't want the Epstein files. All right, that's a retard, okay? Listen, that's a retard. You know, another retard detector is, yeah, we want the government to be sending money to Zimbabwe for lesbian tap dance theory. Absolutely. That's another retard. Another retard is someone that says we want the ability to buy things and then for the company, for no reason, completely arbitrarily, to be able to take the thing that they sold us back. If you think that that is justified, you are a complete retard. Oh my God, you will own nothing and be happy. I will defend my multi-billion-dollar corporation.
To me, that makes total sense. It doesn't sound fair and isn't right for you to be sold a game as a good, but for it to effectively be a service with an unknown expiration date.
I'm not against the movement. I just don't care about it. See, that's valid. You have the right to not care, all right? I think everyone has the right to apathy. But if you are against it, you are an industry shill. There is no two ways about it. There is no two ways about it.
That the company can not support at any time.
Listen, Pirate Software, let me make this clear. Pirate Software is making games, okay? He is making games that he wants the ability to take back and shut off if players aren't playing it, okay? He has everything to gain because he's not a consumer, okay? He is currently the quote-unquote developer. He is the ultimate industry plant. And the fact that people are thinking that he's like fighting for the little guy is absolutely retarded. The only person this absolute degenerate is fighting for is himself. And there is no other perspective. It is so open and closed. Him doubling down is the funniest shit in the universe.
Okay, now, why am I picking on Thor here in particular? Well,
Good.
Thor has not only what appears to be lied about his experience, or at the very minimum, played it off as something that it's really not.
Yeah, here we go.
The initiative and has doubled and tripled down in that misrepresentation.
If you're going to be putting forward something that you want to start a conversation to eventually become legislation, and these are the reasons for it, not only can I not agree with the initiative, but I can't agree with you, and I won't agree with Ross. There's no way around that. I think this is gross. To sum it all, I will not be...
Gross? Oh my, it's disgusting. It's gross. Every time I hear him talk about it, it makes me angry. It makes me so sad. Because, like, dude, do you really think people are going to be on your side here when you're so obviously the villain of this story? Brother. Oh my lord. Leviticus 25:10. Each of you is to return to your own property. Ownership is biblical, okay? Ownership is a biblical right that you have. Okay? You shall not covet your neighbor's house or anything that belongs to your neighbor. Exodus 20:17. All right, brother? Listen, ownership is biblical. Why do you, Pirate Software, feel the need so badly to stand on your fucking soapbox and yell and preach and make believe you are fighting for video games?
Supporting the initiative Stop Killing Games.
Cryptically wishing for the movement to fail.
So, I'm going to be honest with you. I hope that your initiative gets everything you asked for, but nothing you wanted.
I don't know why you do that, but he decided to do so.
Well, you know exactly why he did that. Well, at least I know exactly why he did that. I know exactly why he did that. And I mean this with no cynicism. It's because he's an egotistical twat. I think it's pretty obvious why he did that. Bro, I made this Pirate Software tweet, like, a long time ago, and I can't find it. Yeah, I made this tweet, and it's right every single time. Every single time this dude gets dragged, it's because he'll smugly say some dumb, ignorant shit. And even after getting exposed as a fraud, his ego will make him double and triple down until the end of time. Mark my words, this will keep happening. And you know what? I don't know if you marked my words, but it did keep happening. And also, he's a gay furry. Not relevant, but very funny.
He doesn't even have to agree with the movement. He just needs to admit that he misrepresented it. Now, other creators have reviewed this drama to no end.
Hi.
And have gone over his employment history and timeline. But what I want to do that I guess would make this video unique is go over his actual code from his developer live streams and analyze whether this guy has the skills that he claims he has as a 20-year veteran and game developer working for Blizzard and other game publishers, etc.
My name is Jason Thor Hall, also known as Pirate Software Online.
I love how this guy put him on double speed every time he talks, just because he talks so slowly. Like, it's so condescending every time you hear him speak. Every time you hear this guy speak, you feel like he's talking down to you. I don't know why. Like, I don't know why people feel the need to... I'm going to tell you something, okay? All right? This is a real truth. His shorts went so viral right when YouTube Shorts started. He was the template for everyone to watch his shorts. I'm not even kidding, man. He is the template of shorts content creators. And here's the thing. If you go to any of his shorts, they're ass. All right? I don't want to be rude, but they are. I'm just going to scroll randomly. Hacking knowledge.
Will you be my mentor and teacher so I can become a hacker, master of all hackers? No. No, if you want to learn how to hack, dude, go to owasp.org.
Says the guy who doesn't know how to hack.
Which is a website that will teach you all about web vulnerabilities. Then make an account on HackerOne. HackerOne will allow you to go and do bounty programs legally, where you can find vulnerabilities for companies as long as you stay in scope and turn them in, and you can get some cred, you can get some money. Like, it's a good thing. It's a really positive thing. Will you be my...
It's such a nothing video. This video has 19 million views, okay? This video has 19 million views. You know what he said? He said, go to a website to learn how to hack. That was his wisdom. It was so frustrating for me every single time. And because you don't understand, this dude was the template. He was the fucking template for YouTube Shorts. And bro, every single time you look at it, it's so frustrating. Oh my God. Anyway.
I've been in the gaming industry for about 20 years. I used to work at Blizzard Entertainment, then Amazon Game Studios, and now I own my own studio, Pirate Software, by the same name, which is an indie studio, and I've been here for about 8 years now.
Now, why should you guys listen to me about any of this? Well, I'm a C++ developer with 5 years of experience in the quantitative trading space. I've read dozens of books on C++ and over half a dozen books just on C++ design.
Damn.
From influencers in the space to professors to people that also have YouTube channels to time-tested and trusted books.
So this dude, he has experience.
I've read a lot. And
he's done the grind. He doesn't just say, oh, you want to learn about C++? Well, why don't you go to C++.com and learn about it there? Yeah, come on, dude.
While I'm not an authority in C++, I'm pretty likely to be somebody that can suss out a bad practice if I see one.
Respect.
At least I hope. I also have a bunch of open source contributions in C++ on projects that I find interesting, like Monero. Now, when I was making notes for this video, because I like to come prepared, I thought I need to go through dozens of different developer streams. But what I found out really quickly is that I can only find 2 developer streams that Thor...
No! Bro! He calls himself a game dev every single time. This is diabolical. This is crazy.
Thor actually brings up code on the screen in.
This is like, it's my favorite thing because qualifiers on YouTube are really powerful. Let me teach you something about YouTube, okay? I'm sure that a lot of you don't actually know this because you're not in this space. So I'm going to teach you something, okay? Let me go to Legal Eagle. All right, Legal Eagle is a law YouTube channel who is anti-Trump. That's his main personality point these days because that's basically all of his videos. But if you actually look at his videos, right? So it's all, you know, Trump shit, more and more Trump shit. All right. But if you look at his most popular videos, his actual claim to fame was lawyer reacts to Suits. Lawyer reacts to Better Call Saul. Lawyer reacts to Grey's Anatomy malpractice. Lawyer reacts to Better Call Saul. See, putting lawyer in the title is a qualification for views, okay? I'm not even gonna lie, it is a gigantic qualifier. Now, I mention this because if this would just be titled Reacting to Suits, or reacting to Better Call Saul, no one would care. Putting the word lawyer in the title absolutely gives you a qualifier to be able to make YouTube videos that will get you a lot of crazy views. And it's the same for someone like Dr. Mike, okay? Dr. Mike is a famous doctor on YouTube, okay? All right, famous doctor on YouTube, sure. If you go to his videos, and you go to his most popular videos, Real Doctor reacts to The Good Doctor. Real Doctor react to Grey's Anatomy, you know, stuff like that. So if he would just title the video, reacting to Good Doctor or reacting to Grey's Anatomy, obviously this would be a complete failure. It's because he has this qualifier of calling himself a doctor to do it. Now, let's say he wasn't a doctor. Let's say hypothetically he was not a doctor. Okay, this would be diabolical. This would be crazy. This would be insanity to constantly doing shit like this. Now, the specialist reacting genre is a massive genre, okay? Criminal reacts, all right? There are, you know, actual criminals that do reactions to things. Like, and for some reason, these get tons of views. Because everyone wants to see an ex-mob boss rate 12 mafia movies. No one cares about me rating 12 mafia movies. The reason why I mention this is because Thor over here, Mr. Pirate Software, he calls himself a game dev to give himself the proper amounts of credibility in order to make these content. All right, and if it turns out that his whole game development shit is a giant fraud, then essentially he built his entire YouTube channel and career on top of a lie. And in my opinion, that's the real reason he's a lol cow. That is really why he's falling apart. This is actually stolen valor. He's a game dev with no games. He worked at Blizzard, but he kind of worked at Blizzard as a fucking nobody instead of as actually somebody that made games. So by the fact that he uses this, he used it as a qualifier and as a springboard to jump off of, but realistically, it's a fraud, in my opinion. That is why I gave you this entire diatribe, right? He is a face with no chin. He is a testicle with no balls.
And in those developer streams, he does not actually do any coding. The code is just visually there on the screen.
Wow, he just leaves code there. Then who even knows if he's the one that wrote it or not? Who knows if he just asked AI, ChatGPT, to shit this code out and he just left it on the back? See, that's why I think it is so important. That is why I think it is so important to recognize the fact that he built his whole career as a game dev for Blizzard, but he was never a game dev for Blizzard. Right? It's like saying music composer reacts to Undertale music. Well, that's interesting. You want to hear what the composer has to say about the music. But if he's not a composer, then his entire career built on a lie. And that is why people are shitting on this man.
And 98% of the actual stream is him looking at his subscribers, looking at his tip jar as to how much money people have sent him.
Bro.
And also looking at videos about games, but never actually doing any game development in a dev stream. Without further ado, let's actually take a look at some of his code. All right, so
Bro, this dude's a fucking janitor at Blizzard. I worked at Blizzard for 20 years, and I can tell you, this is ass. Eat my entire ass, dude.
I'm going to be linking these VODs in the description box below. I recommend people actually download these VODs before he takes them down, because honestly, if I was claiming I'm a game developer with 20 years of experience, this would be...
There's no way he took it down. Right, dude? There's no fucking way he took it down. I don't believe it. Okay, thank God. There's no way. There's no fucking way he took it down, bro. That's crazy.
Embarrassing to have online. Let's take a look at what's
it's
really
actually
wrong
that
about this.
bad?
And I don't even need to be a game dev to understand that. When you look at the code here, what do you see? You see a lot of magic numbers. That's an industry term for numbers that don't have any description or explanation as to what they are or why they exist. And you also have a lot of true or false, which is not descriptive at all. When you look at any function call as another developer, you should understand what's going on without needing to read through the implementation of the actual method itself. So part type sprite, part type size, I don't need to read through that to understand what's being passed to it and what it's doing. But that's not what's going on here. I should need to ask myself, what is this number 1? What is the 0? What does it signify? Right?
There is no shot. There is no shot that 1 is supposed to be representative of like a character in the game. And every single time they're going to want that character to do something, they're going to need to put 1 in to reference that same character. There is no way. There is no way that's how he did it the entire code. I did a little coding in Java, like JavaScript, a long time ago. So I am super fucking rusty at all of this. But even I know that that's crazy. That is crazy.
Imagine we have a car object. And I create the car object by passing in 96 for false false. Do you have any idea about what those numbers mean? How I'm initializing that car? You don't. A step above that, a better alternative would be to specify in words what 96 means. For example, unsigned 32-bit integer horsepower equals 96. Number of doors equals 4. Okay. Is automatic equals false. Is electric equals false. And then pass that into the construction of car. That is the bare minimum. That's what I would expect out of an intern.
Right.
That's fresh out of school.
Because that essentially, one of the most important things about coding is not just about getting it to operate the way you want it to, it's also writing it in an efficient way. Like, if there's no way this dude needs to rewrite all of these things for part types every single time. He'll need to copy this entire paragraph every single time.
Taking that a step further, you can implement a concept called strong typing, which is the most expressive form of instantiation. What we can do in that case is define an alias at the bare minimum or a class, and we can call it horsepower.
Okay.
And then we can create an enumeration for things like transmission or fuel. And then we'd alter the car's constructor and pass in that information. Horsepower 98, door number 4, transmission automatic, fuel gasoline. You don't need to be a game developer to know that that's a lot more maintainable than whatever Thor has here. Another really good example of that is at 2556. So if we jump there, okay, right here. Alarm 0, alarm 1, alarm 2.
There's no fucking way.
What are those alarms?
Oh my lord.
Is it an alarm for person A, an alarm for whatever character, an alarm to do what? It's unexpressive.
It's so jumbled.
Really spaghetti code in my opinion.
Oh my god, dude!
Okay, let's go to around 1 hour and 4 minutes. This is also a complete mess for a couple of reasons. First of all, Thor is using the incorrect data types. This isn't even getting to some sort of advanced design or design pattern. It's showing a complete lack of understanding how to represent information in a program, okay? What do I mean by that? Well, look at question asked equals 0. Question asked, in my opinion, is true or false. Has this question been asked? It should be a Boolean data type. What does 0 mean?
Bro.
Booleans are represented as integers under the hood. So in C++, anything that isn't 0 is true. So 1 is true. But why would you even give another developer the option to write question asked equals 42? In theory, that should be true, because anything other than 0 is true, but why even allow somebody to write code that can potentially be that confusing?
Brother.
It's just a no-go. Another thing here that I noticed...
Yeah, I wonder who even wrote this code, to be honest. I wonder who wrote this code. Like, I feel like this is literally something he must have pulled out of, like, some sort of AI or some shit. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand. Like, because this is not something you could share with a team, right? Because people have to always know what 1 is and what 0 is at any time. It's not like it's a true or false.
Is the absurd amount of comments. Most of the time, you don't need to write comments in your code. That's because your code should be
you should be able to understand from the code what's going on. Right? These 2 lines, if dialogue option is a question, we have asked a question, which question did we ask? Like, this line explains what this code is. And then the next line explains what the next bit of code is. Like, why the fuck should you need comments to explain every single individual line of code?
Documenting, but there is a 1 to 5% case rate in which you should be writing comments only.
Code pride flag. We must grift a little bit more. Remember to code optional pronouns.
If your code is extremely complex, and that's not the case here. This is a simple if statement and a simple switch statement. You don't need to add comments here. Having a comment for we have asked the question and
yikes. Comment, we have asked the question, and it's question asked equals 1. No fucking shit, question asked means we asked the question. Oh my god, dude, that's crazy. Like, dude, that's humiliating. Okay, you want to know my conspiracy theory? My conspiracy theory is he didn't write any of this code. He's a rich streamer. My guess is someone else wrote the code, either ChatGPT or a human. He got someone else to write the code, and he just kind of sits there. And you know why they had to add these comments? Because he didn't know what the fuck he's reading. I don't know. That's my conspiracy theory. I don't know, man. But this is crazy. Question asked, comment. He asked the question.
And question asks equals 1 is totally superfluous, a waste of time, a waste of space.
Bro, actual intern LARPing as a coder.
I'm not sure why it was added. If not just to waste time on a dev stream to spend more time pretending you're coding than watching videos.
I'm just out of curiosity. There's no fucking way this is gonna work. I have to know. I have to know, bro. I have to know what I would actually get if I just do something like this. Give me code for asking a question in a video game and a response in C++. Brother. All right. This is crazy. And again, look how it gives you comments for every single line. Look at this shit. Oh my god, look at this. It gives you the comments. Simulate displaying the question. Get the user response. Process display response. Oh my god, dude. I think he got his code off ChatGPT. I think he got his code off AI, bro. It does the same crap of giving you this comment before. Look at how he wrote his comments. Start conversation. If dialogue is a question, we have asked the question. They all also have, okay, so if you look at most coding, for example, you'll notice that the actual code, there's no capital letters. The capital letters are in the comments because this is a sentence, right? It's a sentence that you're writing. So if you're writing a sentence to describe things, it has a capital letters, right? However, the actual code has no caps. Why would you put capital letters in the comments unless ChatGPT puts capital letters on every comment? Oh my god, dude, this is brutal. It's a convention. I don't know, man. I wonder. Don't know. Look, I'm not a coder. I'm not gonna make believe I actually know what I'm talking about here. I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying. This definitely looks like it came out of some AI.
Okay, let's take a look at his second stream, because the rest of this stream is reviewing other games, looking at his subscription count. I don't know why he gets so horny looking at this.
Wait, he actually just sits there looking at his subscription count on his streams? Look, I said he was an egotistical asshole, but like, like, what are you doing, my guy?
I don't know why he gets so horny looking at this. Watching video games, etc.
Right.
You guys get the point.
Yeah.
Storyline array number. Oh my god.
Bro, who is in this scene? Shelly.
Here he appears to be storing a timeline of events in a flat one-dimensional array with random numbers as the indices in order to represent said event. So literally anything would be an upgrade over what is written here. For example, what he could have done is created a nested structure where all of those default values, instead of being hard-coded and written in some file, can simply be stored in a YAML or configuration file that could be edited outside of the build as to not waste time rebuilding the entire application in a YAML or XML format. That's development 101. You learn it in the first week of your new job as either an intern or a junior developer. Okay. What's even worse is he now also needs to remember what 419 means.
I told you, each one of these numbers is representing something else. It's such, like, dude, spaghetti code is a good way to put it. But listen, that is what you do, man. You imagine having a code index with 419 different things. And every time you want to get one of those things to happen, you need to go back to your index to see what 419 is to put it in here. Every single time.
So somewhere in his code, he needs to actually add a comment or something to represent what 419 is. As you can see here, I found the file that contains all these events, which are the association between a magic number and some...
Bro, look at this. This is the array, man. 220, coffee joke. 221, stress guy.
State. It's very obvious that this can get very unwieldy extremely quickly. As you can see here, he has some number associated with 0, 1, or even 2, and then he needs to detail in a comment what that means. Now, imagine a developer accidentally puts 2 here or 3. Finding, tracking, and solving that bug is really going to be a development nightmare. What if you forget to type 3 here and it accidentally type 2? And start associating coffee cold knowledge with floor 2 coffee age. Yeah. Or even worse, in your code somewhere, instead of typing 213, you type 214, and now need to go back and track why your game is misbehaving. This
would be a bugging nightmare. It really for sure would be a bugging nightmare. Like, because there are very often, I know a lot of coders, but there are coders that, find bugs and stuff. You have to basically go through the code and find the bug. But that, you know what that would mean? That would mean going through the code and being like, okay, this says 214. Let's go to the index. 214 is this? Okay, that's good. All right, this number says 647. Okay, let's go back to the fucking, back to the index to see what 647 is. And you would need to literally go through, if there's ever a bug, which there will always be. Every code has bugs. okay? Every single code has bugs. But, so imagine needing to go through that shit. Every single time there's a mistake in the game, you need to look at what all the numbers are referencing to make sure that the coder didn't accidentally type 214 instead of 213.
Is extremely poor practice and can get very messy very quickly. Not only that, but this is going to significantly decrease the velocity of your development because you're going to need to jump between the storyline vars file, find the event you want to reference somewhere else in code, and go back to that line that you'd like to reference the event in. So you're going to constantly need to be jumping between files, forgetting, potentially mistyping, and it's just a recipe for disaster. When it comes to the nested structure though, tell me what you think is better.
All right.
What Thor has here or what I have on screen, which in my opinion is much more expressive. Now this goes beyond simply liking code better. What I have on screen is objectively better because it makes it harder for you and others to make mistakes, and it's a lot clearer as to what's going on. I don't even need to know how this game is designed to understand that whatever he's doing here is not optimal. I also don't need to recommend the most optimal data structure, because literally anything would be better than this. Another thing that's really, really weird is that he's using these numbers to represent people.
I told you his numbers were representing characters! Oh my god! Did I not say that like 10 minutes ago? Oh my lord, that he's just using every number represents another character the whole way through. He has to pay attention to exactly which character is each number forever.
And now everywhere he writes the number 1 and when it represents a person, he needs to remember that it's Shelly.
Oh my god, dude.
Which is presumably a game character.
Yeah, presumably.
Imagine removing all of these comments.
Oh my god, dude.
Would you as a...
If you remove the comments, it's indecipherable, my brother. Oh my god, can you imagine having a game with 200 characters and they're each represented by a number?
Newly added game developer to his game project have any idea that one is Shelly?
Bro, they'd be annihilated.
You would have no idea.
No clue.
This would never ever be allowed in a production repository. And like I've been hinting, it's below.
See, that's why I said that I don't believe that either he wrote it or that he has a team. Like, this is crazy. How could you hire people? You imagine hiring a dev to help work on your game and he opens this up and he's like, what's character 472?
What you'd expect of a bottom tier intern. One way to improve this is to write case and then switch on an enumeration. So case character Shelly.
Right.
That is way, way better to whatever he has here. Another example is at 159. More magic numbers, 32. What does message 32
Oh my god, dude. That's crazy.
mean? What does message 65 mean? What does message 97 mean? And what are these dialogue options 2, 5, 6, 0? This is a...
This is crazy. It's not just one index either. It's index on top of index on top of index. Like, dude, we don't know what 32 is, but when you're having a conversation, the options for the responses are 2, 5, 6, or 0, all right? So, like, they have one index for like, the characters. They have another index for dialogue options.
Culmination of my past couple of comments, all in one steaming pile of... Surprisingly, that is all the code that I can find in these game developer streams.
And that's all the code he shows, because he only did 2 streams, even though he's a game developer. So in my opinion, it's such an obvious LARP. Now, apparently, Pirate Software called him out. He called him a grifter. I think I showed part of that video already. Right? It's over here.
Spawns the code. There's even...
Is this gonna help you? You mean the guy who's never used Game Maker Studio, doesn't know Game Maker language, and talked a lot of shit but was wrong? It's just...
Okay, the guy's just wrong. All right, I'm not gonna address any of his points, but he's wrong. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's a complete fraud. He's wrong. He's a grifter.
Another, like, YouTube grifter trying to fight for relevance.
More YouTube grifters fighting for relevance. They're all wrong and grifters. I am infinitely... Dude, I'm not even a coder, and I recognized your shit's ass. You could eat my entire ass. Oh my god, average furry experience or something. All right, so anyway, I want to see Code Jesus' response.
What is up, guys? Coding Jesus here. Guys, in today's video, I want to review the top contentions that not only Pirate Software had, but a lot of his fanboys had with my video yesterday.
Bro, of course they brigaded this man. How big is this channel? 160K. I'll of course be linking him in the description, obviously. But yeah, no, this is crazy. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. It keeps happening. How does it keep happening, bro? How does this keep happening?
In which I reviewed the code that he wrote for his game Heartbound. Now, while the video was a stunning success in terms of engagement, there was a couple of themes that kept repeating from detractors that I think are worth addressing in a separate video. So let's get into it.
All right.
The first claim that I saw time and time again is that your code quality shouldn't matter if you're a solo game dev, and that...
Oh my god! Wait, does he actually show the clip of Pirate Software losing his mind, or does he not even show that clip? And I have to find that myself. Hold on, I have to find that myself. Hold on. I have to see the actual Pirate Software crash out. Pirate Software coding. Jesus.
Should look at my comment underneath this video.
Bro, I didn't even see his comment. It's gone. Oh, no. It's gone! Wait, I can't even find his comment. It must have been downvoted to oblivion. All right, that didn't work.
Imagine screaming and shitting about alarms in Game Maker saying, why aren't these renamed when you literally can't rename them? Wild behavior. It's just another, like, YouTube grifter trying to fight for relevance, dude. That's all that shit is.
Of course.
All too common these days. Think you saw that one? Very strange? Yeah, it's nuts, dude. You could still use alarms by for loop instead of manually setting all to 0 with 8 lines. Those were set to 0 because it was ending the alarms. By setting them to 0, you're actually setting the alarm to off. You would know that if you've ever used Game Maker. And that wasn't all of the alarms.
Unbelievable!
It was some of them.
The ego!
So, there'd be no reason to set that to a for loop. Can't see your comment? Did he delete it? That'd be even funnier.
I doubt it. It's probably downvoted.
He deleted the comment? That would be even funnier.
There's no way
No,
he
it's still
deleted
there.
the comment. Oh, it's still there. He confirmed
Yeah, I
it.
wrote this underneath this video. I said, it's clear you've never used Game Maker before based on your comments. Here's a quick rundown for you. Sprite Spark is not a magic number. It's a direct reference to an asset file called Sprite Spark. This is how Game Maker allows you to link sprites and other assets. When you want to use a sprite, sound, or other object, you call it by name. The functions you called out are part type.
Brother, he left an upvote on his comment, and he downvoted every other comment in the entire comment section. There is no way you were this... I don't think I've ever disliked a comment on all of YouTube. Ever. On all of YouTube. This dude dislikes every other comment on the entire video.
Create are built-in that allow you to define a particle. The functions below this directly reference different aspects of this particle effect. These cannot be modified, but they can be wrapped, but this wouldn't be efficient. Having them exposed as normal allows you to modify existing particles dynamically, meaning in runtime, while the effect is running. Changing this just creates layers of obfuscation without improving usability or performance. Alarms are internal to individual objects and only reference that same object that they're inside of. When you see alarm 0, it's hitting the alarm 0 on the left side of the object there. We cannot rename these as they are tied. I try to put tied to the object they are placed in. Cool typo. Setting an alarm 0 causes that alarm to stop. Think of this as a timing or delay function. Data types are not defined in Game Maker. You cannot define a Boolean. You can use 0, 1, or true, false at will.
I wonder why he wrote this off screen, and then to respond, he just read the comment that he sent. I wonder if someone else wrote this for him.
Doesn't do anything. None of this matters in this language. The array of the save files to create a workable structure for reverse engineers trying to solve the ARG behind the game. It also saves this out in the exact same order in the save file. You can read about the ARG here.
That doesn't answer basically a single thing that he actually said in his video, by the way. It's just the alarms. He didn't respond to basically anything else.
It's just a bunch of disingenuous arguments put up in bad faith trying to make me look like a bad programmer.
No, dude, you did that yourself. You did that yourself, my brother.
And in reality, this guy has never used the engine that I'm working in, never used the language that I'm working with, and all of his points are moot as a result.
Every single one. Not a single good point. How dare you even try to criticize me? I am the best. I am perfect. If you criticize me, you must be a retard.
You know, basic internet bullshit. Cutting Jesus released a 15-minute video reviewing you. Do you see it by any chance? Yeah, and I wrote a gigantic comment on it. We actually just went over it. Cutting Jesus obviously has never worked in Game Maker Studio or with Game Maker language, and he made a bunch of wild assumptions about the language and things that should be changed or shouldn't be changed.
Oh my god, he has so much ego. It's unreal, brother. Bro, you're a bad programmer. It's okay.
It's very clear he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Oh my god.
I put a large comment underneath this, but it got buried in the myriad of other comments that you can see here. So if you want to screenshot that, you can go and read it yourself. We just went over it on stream. I don't want to do this all stream, to be honest with you. But yeah, he's obviously never worked in this language. Ever.
Like, he does not stop insulting him. He doesn't stop insulting him. That guy made a 10-minute video breaking apart your actual code, and you're just there insulting him endlessly. He has no idea what he's doing. He never worked in the code. He's a complete idiot, bad faith, complete grifter, just doing it for YouTube views. There's so many of them.
So, even down to like weird stuff, like why are alarms named this way with
Why is it just alarms? Is there anything else that happened?
magic numbers? They're not. They cannot be changed. The engine won't allow you to. Yeah, very cool. What was the language you said? GML. It's called Game Maker Language. It is built in for Game Maker. Game Maker does not allow you to use other languages. So as a result of this, he doesn't know what he's talking about. And
A complete idiot, doesn't know what
he's bitching about shit that is not changeable inside of Game Maker. Yeah. Which, you know, I would expect a little bit better from someone named Coding Jesus.
Well, I would expect someone named Pirate Software to want to actually own the product that you purchase.
But I've got the ego, right?
Correct. I'm glad you're that unself-aware. Thank you.
Very cool. Is he a web dev or something? I have no idea, but he clearly doesn't know this language. You can review language.
How can you possibly say you have no idea when he literally pulled out 400 books in the very beginning of the video? Unless you didn't really watch the video, or you're just trying to paint him in a bad light.
The concepts are transferable. Concepts can be transferable, but specifics are not, and that's the problem. This person called out a bunch of specifics as they would in another language that are not correct in this language.
Bro, he made fun of your comments on every single line of code. Like, what are you talking about? This is a terrible response.
So no, you cannot code review correctly in a language you don't know. To be fair, you haven't seen the array, but it was the one solution you thought of off the top of your head. I want to slap you.
He's so frustrated.
How do you fix something you haven't seen before?
Oh my god, look
Literally
at this.
part of the problem. God damn, dude. That's even funnier. You can see the comments. Some people can't see it. Some people can see it. It's not going to be up at the top. You're going to have to search for it because it only has 16 likes. And I can't give you a direct link to it, so you could shadow ban people? Yeah. When you ban somebody on
No,
YouTube...
stop! He's not shadow banning you in the comments! Oh my god, you are pathetic, my brother! You have got to be kidding me!
There's like weird, sneaky bullshit. It's called hiding them from the channel, which we don't really know what that does.
We know exactly what that does. Hiding someone from the channel means people can't see the comment. Don't you lie like this, bro. Oh my god! You think he hid you from the channel? You got downvoted.
So I wouldn't be surprised. Sort by newest, and it's around 5 hours ago. Okay. Either way, video's dumb. Dude probably should have reached out instead of talking shit.
Should have reached out. You don't respond to anyone. You block anyone that criticizes you. Should have reached out? He criticized your code. Why should he reach out? This is such a bad faith argument, by the way. And everyone does this. It's like, why would he criticize me without reaching out? Motherfucker, first of all, no one needs to reach out to you, okay? This isn't sexual assault allegations, all right? He's saying that you're a bad coder because he saw the code with his own eyes. And that's how he came to that conclusion. Do not trust your eyes. You should reach out. Incredibly bad faith. Only people use this argument all the time, by the way, and on YouTube. Sometimes it's legitimate. Sometimes it is so manipulative.
Or, I don't know, read the public docs for Game Maker?
So, in case you were curious, I asked if Game Maker language is the same syntax as C++, and the answer was overwhelmingly yes. Overwhelmingly yes. So the similarities are GML and C++ share the same C-style syntax for basic constructs like loops, conditionals, functions, operators, making GML somewhat familiar to C++. The differences are GML is more dynamically typed. It's simpler. Game Maker language is simpler, okay? The main criticism against Pirate Software was that his code was verbose and yucky and sloppy, all right? The Game Maker language is supposed to be simpler, okay? Tailored for game studios, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, anyway, so your argument is bullshit.
Wild, dude. Was it the dude? Yeah. Like I said, you're gonna see a whole lot of people on YouTube trying to pick at me like piranhas to get their 15 minutes of fame.
Bro, what do you mean they're 15 minutes of fame? Half these people are more famous than you are. All right, listen, I'm not trying to flex here or anything, but I got double your views this month. So did people like Tectone, right? Asmongold, bro, he's like 10 times your size.
Yep. You make a link to it? You have to click on the little 6 hours edited. So that doesn't seem to do it. Oh, do I have to right click on this and then copy link address and then do that? Is that what does this? Ah, it does highlighted comment. There we go. Boop. There's my comment on it.
I love how we can't actually make any points that aren't on the pre-written comment that he posted before the stream. Like, do we all not realize that this is very hilarious?
Enjoy. And I also have a whole argument with a whole bunch of people and the replies in there so they can see what's going on with it. I talked them through the entire thing.
It's all about the
why
alarms,
I did that
bro.
all in an array, because that is not normal practice to do that, and it's specifically so that you guys can reverse engineer the game and solve the ARG. Sometimes doing bad practice has meaning, which is why I did it in that case.
Oh my fucking god, there's no fucking way. There's no way. There's no way this is his argument. He did bad practice on purpose because he wants you to solve the ARG of the game. ARGs are augmented reality games where it basically breaks the fourth wall so that you could I don't know, like in Five Nights at Freddy's, they release like comic books or whatever to like reference the game or stuff like that. So it's all part of his plan. He makes it bad on purpose to give clues to the ARG so that people could figure out his game? You've got to be fucking kidding me, bro. His bad practice has meaning, bro. This guy is such a fraud. He's such a fraud. What are we doing here?
So that you guys could do those.
So then you know what? You should have said from the very beginning, you're right, there is bad practice. I did it on purpose. I'm a bad coder. He spent 10 minutes defending and saying, you don't understand anything. The practices are all good. And then at the end, he's like, yeah, but any bad practices were done on purpose? Oh, my Lord. You've got to be kidding me.
ARG components, and I've been saying that for years. The ARG solving community around the game knows this.
Oh, my God.
Why it's done.
So then you agree that the criticism was valid. So the criticism was valid then. All right? He went from, I made no mistakes, you don't understand what you're saying, to, yes, it's bad, but it's a good thing that it's bad.
It's not a gotcha. It's just stupid. Yep. So anyway, enjoy.
Bro, he's so salty. It's crazy.
When in the world do you sleep? I haven't slept since 9 a.m. yesterday. I've been working on Heartbound all day.
The game that he's been released, that's supposed to have been released in 2020. He works very hard, guys. Look at what he's streaming right now. He's playing, I don't even know what this is. Yeah, all right, good stuff, bro. This is crazy. Oh, my Lord. All right, let's see the response.
Code quality only somehow matters if you work in a team. Now, you'd think that if you're working on a passion project, you'd be interested in holding yourself to the highest possible standard, since you can make your own decisions, free of any corporate timeline, and not subject to demands of other employees. You know, they say this with such confidence, as if poor code is not going to hold you back in your own development process, and you're somehow impervious to the effects.
What are you talking about? He made poor code on purpose for the ARG community.
Of your poor decisions, as long as you make those bad decisions yourself. Usually when you work with a team, you can get away with poorer code because you won't need to deal with the consequences of that code as you pawn it off to somebody else and work on something totally separate. But as a solo developer, you need to deal with and contend directly with all the trade-offs that you make as you make those.
Yeah, dude, that's such a bullshit argument. It's like, oh, it's okay that he uses bad code. He's a solo developer. Bullshit!
Decisions while you code your game or your project or your whatever. In other words, every decision you make will either make like...
It's like a doctor being like, listen, I know that I prescribed myself the wrong medicine, but that's okay because I'm a solo doctor. I just prescribed the medicine to myself after all. It's like a lawyer defending himself in court and making bad arguments. It's like, okay, you know what? You're right. You are defending yourself. That's true. But like, I mean...
life easier for you.
I was only pretending to be retarded.
Or harder for you. As technical debt accumulates, you bear the entire burden of that debt, which slows down development. Now, for those of you who aren't technical debt is a term that refers to the extra work you're going to need to put in down the line because you currently made a decision that was
I don't like the argument bad code is okay if you're a solo dev. We're skipping this segment. We're going to the actual Pirate Software segment.
Experience as a veteran in the space. Now, Pirate himself also responded, and he got a bit hung up on the fact that my mouse had some variable highlighted, despite the fact that I never talked about that variable.
There's no fucking way. It was all about the one variable that he highlighted. That was his whole response.
Actually quite funny, because I refer to every variable other than the one that he referred to in his...
There's no fucking way, bro.
Reply. But skipping over that, he makes the claim that you can't define a Boolean in GameMaker because GameMaker itself doesn't have a native Boolean type in its scripting language. In other words, it interprets reals as Booleans. Now, to reconcile the fact that he used a Boolean in his code with what he said, I decided to do what any developer would do, and that is I consulted the documentation. So if you go to data types in GameMaker,
all right.
Oh, look at that. You are also provided with...
No shot, bro. No shot. Oh my god. How could you be so confident about being wrong? Data types. Booleans. There we go.
The data types in GameMaker. Oh, look at that.
Oh, wait.
You are also provided with constants, true and false, which can always be used in your code to prevent any issues, should the native Boolean type be defined later. So GML defines constants true as 1 and false as 0, and the documentation itself even recommends that you use true and false instead of reals in case that association between a Boolean and a real ever gets changed to a Boolean and some other native definition of a Boolean. So in other words, if they ever replace the aliasing of bools for reals with bools for actual bools, they recommend that you use true and false. But we know he's not going to concede on this point or admit the fact that he was wrong, given his track record. So,
I mean, he doesn't concede on anything.
Let's move on to the next claim. Another comment that I've seen is that You've never worked with Game Maker, so
that was his main thing. He ranted about that the entire time. You never worked with Game Maker. You don't know what you're talking about.
you must not know what you're talking about. Another equally absurd variant of this is what he's writing is not C++, or anybody who has worked with technology or more than one programming language understands that languages are just toolkits. Each toolkit is uniquely positioned to solve a given problem. Now, while there might be unique...
By the way, he's right about this. So different coding languages is not the same as different human languages, right? Where, you know, in French, you need to translate everything from English to French. Every word in English is a different word in French. Programming languages have different skill sets, but it's the same, like, kind of logic that goes through. So I used to code a bit in Java and in Python. And even though they were different codes, like, essentially, if you learn one, you're definitely honing skills for the other one, too.
Unique features in every toolkit, essentially, there's a lot of overlap. Okay? An integer in one language is going to be very similar to an integer in another. Every language is going to have for loops, etc., etc. So while the actual toolkit might be different, the same principles, patterns, and design decisions should apply in large part to any problem that you're trying to solve. The only difference is the tools that you use to solve that problem are going to be a little different. What does that look like in practice? Take that code snippet, alarm 0 equals 0, alarm 1 equals 0, alarm equals 0.
Right.
You don't need to copy and paste that code every single time.
God, dude.
I'd expect an intern or somebody learning code in Khan Academy to copy and paste. You can simply replace that all with a for loop. So what does it say about somebody that they haven't even...
Listen, man, copy, paste. That's exactly how Thor made his entire game. He is the master of CP. Okay, that sounded... Whoa! That did not come out the way I meant. I meant, like, copy and paste. Okay, that's what okay, all right. Continue?
Considered to use a for loop for something as simple as this. If there's something that I regret, it's not being able to provide more substantive feedback. If you look at plenty of my other videos where I do a code review, I go into line by line the GitHub repository and break it down for my viewers, both saying what went well and what didn't go well and how can it be improved. But Thor didn't give me, or really anybody, the chance to do that.
Yeah, because he didn't make any of his code actually available. He claims his code is public, but he only did 3 dev streams or whatever. And he only showed, like, snapshots of his code. He doesn't actually show you himself coding anything.
His code, because all he does is share snippets and screenshots. You also...
Honestly, I would be shocked if he actually wrote his own code. I so would be.
Shouldn't be representing an entire entity made up of...
You know what? You know what would be hilarious? Thor... This is how you debunk coding Jesus, okay? Code on stream. Just do it. Just code on stream, bro. Just do a dev stream and code. Simple as that, brother.
Health, position, maybe whether they're dead or alive, their ID, their inventory as a number or an index into some array. That's not how you present character models or entities in game design. And I don't even need to be a game developer to understand that. I just watch 1 or 2 videos of the Cherno and I already know that's the case. So hopefully you guys found this video informative or interesting.
Yeah.
I'm going to now move on to other news. So unless anything new comes out that I think I can bring my unique perspective to, I'm going to put Pirate Software behind me and just keep moving forward. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Cheers.
All right, nice. Base, that was good. That was a really good good video. Yeah, no, so realistically, I think the conclusion here is Pirate Software is a fraud. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'm really glad to watch egotistical asshole Nepo babies get absolutely obliterated. For me, the secret surprise hero was Notch. The fact that the creator of Minecraft decided to come out of hiding to shit down this man's throat has got to be the most diabolical thing I've ever seen. It's absolute cinema. Subscribe. Let's up those numbers. It's the entire community. They've all gotten together to literally kill themselves in a giant mass cult suicide to give me content, and we appreciate them for it. Subscribe. We'll make fun of more retards next time. No one is safe. No one is safe. I'll see you in the next one. Stay weird, fam. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.